Yeah, good morning, students. So we'll be back for the loops. In this particular lecture, let's do loops for while and do while. So loops are basically used when you have set of statements which are to be executed more n number of times or more number of times. Repeatedly, you keep using those block of statements the number of times based on your requirement. So we have three types of loops wherein we can use for loop, while loop, and do while loop. For loop is used for executing n iterations. That is, whenever you give a certain conditions, it will be based upon the condition you see that that particular statements will be executed, and you call it as n iterations. It consists of three main statements and it will be in one single line, unlike the main while and do while statements. First is the initialization statement, the conditional statement, increment and decrement operator. The basic simple first statement is given as for I is equal to 0, I less than or equal to n, I plus plus, and followed by the opening braces, the set of statements in the block, for loop, and the closing braces. You also can have I equal to 0, j equal to 1 or 0 again. There is one more variable which you can use. This is an assignment, initialization or assignment. So you are trying to check j less than or equal to say m, and then you are trying to increment or decrement j value. So in particular initialization statement, you can have as many as the variables you wanted to initialize. Basically, or the normal for loop will be having only single I is equal to 0, one single variable, followed by I less than or equal to n or some condition based on I value. Then you're having the I increment and decrement. Suppose you are doing some matrix problem. In such cases, you will be using I is equal to 0, j is equal to 0. In certain problems, you also come across that k is equal to 0. So whenever you come across with this particular statement, do not think the statement or the uh, syntax is wrong. The syntax is correct. So what we see is, so when I declare k is equal to 0, you need not have any condition statement. Either you need not have any increment or decrement. So that is how you will be having different for loop syntax. And then you can see that it will be the syntax of for loop. Now coming to the basic syntax of for loop is I is equal to 0, then I less than or equal to n. Now you're trying to have an increment or decrement operator based on your requirement, followed by the block of statements in the for loop. Once the statement will end, that is the condition becomes false, you see the controller will come out of your for loop and it will continue with the remaining C program. Now coming to the while loop condition. While loop, here you see that if the condition is true only, you see the statements will be executed. If the condition is false, you see that the statements within the loops are not executed. Let's see that. Now the syntax is you have to have an initialization same like for loop. You can have the initialization while at the variable declaration. Then you can have the condition check. So once the condition check is done in the while loop, if the statement of the condition is true, then you see the block of statements will be executed. Once the block of statement is executed, you also see that there should be an increment or decrement operator. Then this is how you'll write I is equal to I plus 1. Then you also have I is equal to I less than or equal to n. This is the condition. If the condition is true, S1, S2 and Sn will be printed. Then you see that n plus plus will be done. That is the increment will be done. You can have n plus plus or I plus plus. Okay. So based on your requirement, you'll be doing. You won't have n plus plus, you'll have I plus plus. Now what we see is you'll have an increment or decrement operator. Once this increment or decrement operator is incremented, you see that the control, you can call it as a counter. It means next value of the I will be checked, and then it will try to check the condition is less than or equal to n. That is I less than or equal to n. Now coming to the do while loop. In do while loop, what we see is you have the syntax, initialization, do, body of the loop, increment or decrement, while the condition. In this particular do while, what we see is the statements of the body will be executed even if the condition is false, at least once. So in do while, what we see is at least once the entire statements in the loop will be executed if the condition is false. If the condition is false, the control will come out of the do while. If the condition is true, it will go into the do loop again. So here what we are seeing is you are trying to check, you are just having the initialization I is equal to I plus 1, then you are having number of statements again, then you have again I plus plus. So you are trying to increment the value of I. So while I less than or equal to n, then this is where if the condition is true, it will go into the loop of do, otherwise it will come out of the do statement. First loop, this is a summary of it. For loop, this kind of loop performs execution of sequence of various statements various times. The number of times you wanted, the number of times it will try to have the execution. While loop, the type of loop is used for repeating any given statement or a group of various statements whenever the condition we have is true. So do while, the statements in the do will be executed at least once even if the condition is false. So even for this particular loops, you can see that you will be having nested for loops. So for within a for loop, for within a while within a while loop, do while within a do while loop. So like that, you can have any loop within the other loop, and you can have the same loop within the other. That is for loop within the other for loop, while within the while loop. So those are called as nested for loops. So let's see one of the example of see on the online compiler. Now I've already done it. So here you see that I'm trying to enter a number and try to find the sum of it. So int n sum I. So the number what I'm trying to read is n. Sum, I'm trying to store the value to add the sum of the numbers. And then I is a counter. Okay. Now let me give value of 5. So it returns 15. Now let me explain you. This part is variable declaration, and then I'm trying to read the value of 5 here. So I'll enter the value of 5. Now sum is equal to 0 because we need to initialize it 0. Even here you can do it, or you can do it here. And then I is equal to 0, I less than n. So here I value is 1. Or I can also initialize this I value as 0 or 1 based on our requirement. So let's say 0. I'll initialize again. I'll do it. I'll initialize there. Okay. 5, 15. Now I is value of 0. Now I wanted to enter the number. I'm entering the value of 5. Sum is assigned as 0. Now some value is 0 at present. So I is 0 here. I is less than or equal to 5. Yes, 0 is less than or equal to 5. 0 less than or equal to 5. True it is. So what is the sum? Initially the sum is 0. Now I value is also 0. 0 plus 0 is, okay, 0 plus 0 is 0. Now again I plus plus, that means I value initially was I is equal to 0. I plus plus, when it is doing I plus plus, it becomes I plus I is equal to I plus 1 it is. So I is 0, 0 plus 1 is 1 it is. So now I value is 1. So again we are checking. 1 is less than 5. Yes, it is. So here I value will be 1. Sum is 0 only. So what is the sum value now? 1. Okay. Now again you are trying to increment I plus plus. I plus plus, now I is a value of 1. So it will try to increment 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. Okay. Now 2 is less than 5. Yes. So 2 is less than 5. No, the 2 value is here. I is 2. I'll put this in between. Okay, 2 is less than 5. Yes. So 2 value will be there here. Sum is having 1 plus 2. So it will try to store 1 plus 2, 3 value will be stored. So now again I plus plus, so it will become 2 plus 1 it is. So 2 plus 1 is 3 it is. Okay. So I is 3, 3 less than 5. Yes, 3 is less than 5. So it will come here, then I value will be taken here as 3. Sum is 3 plus 3. So it becomes 6 here. Sum is 6 now. Now I plus plus, it will become 3 plus 1. 3 plus 1 will be 4. Now I value is 4. So 4 is less than or equal to 5. Yes. So what happens? You are trying to add sum plus 4. That is nothing but 10 it is. Okay. Now again you are trying to increment the value of I plus plus. So it is 4 plus 5, it is 5. So 4 plus 1, it is 5. Now 5 value is assigned, sorry, I value is 5. And then you are trying to check the condition 5 less than or equal to 5. Because it is less than or equal to, it is true, the condition is true. So I value will be there or will be added to sum. Sum is 10, 10 plus 5. So this will become 15. So now sum is holding the 15 and then again I will be incremented. So 5 plus 1, 6 it is. Okay. Once it becomes 6, you are trying to check the condition. Now I is 6. Once it is 6, 6 less than or equal to 5. False it is. So once the statement is false, the controller will come to this particular printf statement and then it will print the value 15. Is this clear for you all? So similarly, let's do while loop. I already initialized I is equal to 0. So I don't want I is equal to 0. Here I can use directly while loop here. Okay, no semicolon. Then I'm incrementing I plus plus semicolon. So let's run this. So let's take 6 because the number should not be always the same. So 21. Now I'm trying to give the value 6 here. Sum is equal to 0 as it should. So now I'm trying to check I value is 0. So 0 less than or equal to 6. Yes, it is. So what is sum? Sum is 0. 0 plus 1 is, 0 plus I is 0. So it will also be 0. Then trying to increment the I value, I plus 1 is 1 it is. 0 plus 1 is 1. Now again you are trying to take the value of I here, it goes into the loop. Again you are checking 1 is less than 6, it will go into the loop. So I is less than 6, yes it is. So it will try to take the value of sum plus 1. So sum will be now 1. Okay, you are trying to increment the value of I, it becomes 2 now. Now I value is 2, so again it goes into the control, goes into the while loop. Now you are checking the condition 2 less than or equal to 6, yes. So 2 value will be added now. Now sum is 1, 2 value is I, so total will be 3 in sum. Now I is incremented to by 1, so it becomes 3. So now you are checking the loop condition, that means the controller will go into the loop, and then 3 is less than or equal to 6, yes it is. So you are having 3 plus 3, it is 6. Okay, now you are trying to increment the value of I again, 4 it is. Now check the value of 4, it goes into the loop again. You are trying to check 4 less than or equal to 6, yes it is. So you'll be having 6 value, 6 plus 4 is 10 it is. So 10 value will be stored here. Now this is incremented to 5. So you are checking the value of 5 here. 5 less than or equal to 6. So you say that 5 is less than or equal to 6. Yes. So you're trying to add sum plus 5. 10 plus 5 it is. So it will be 15. It will be 15 here. Now again you are incrementing the value of I, it becomes 6. Now your I value is 6, so it controller will go into while loop, check the condition. 6 is less than 6, yes it is. So your controller will add 6 to the sum, that is 15 plus 6 is 21. So it becomes 7 here. Once it becomes 7, it will check 7 is less than 6, it is false. So the moment it is false, you see that this particular controller will come to the printf statement and it will print 21. Similarly, let's do while loop. In do while loop, what we see is the statements in the do before the condition is checked will be printed at least once. So our do while will be at the bottom, at the end. There is a semicolon here. Now you have do. Rest all the code is the same. I'll take 4. I don't want to do more. It is 10. Now let's take 4 here. Sum is equal to 0. Do sum is equal to sum plus I. So sum is 0 plus 0. 0 is equal to 0 plus 0. Okay. Then you are trying to increment the value of 5. Then here you are trying to check I is before incrementing, it will try to check 0 less than or equal to n. Okay. So you will see that increment will be done after the condition is done. Or you can take like vice versa also. So I is less than or equal to n. Yes. So what happens? 1 is less than. I can take 1. It doesn't matter. 1 less than or equal to n is 4. So it is true. 1 is less than 4. So what happens? The controller will take back to the sum. Sum is equal to sum plus I. So what is the value of I now? It is 1. So the sum is 1 here. Increment I value is 2. I plus plus. So now you are trying to check the I value as 2. 2 less than 4? True it is. So it goes into the sum and then it will add. Sum is having 1 and it is having 2. Okay, so it will be 3. Now I will be incremented to 3. Now I am trying to check the value 3 is less than or equal to n. Yes. So it goes into the loop and then sum will be added 3 plus 3. That becomes 6. Okay. Now I is incremented to 4. Then 4 is less than or equal to 4. Yes. So you are trying to add 4 value for I. And sum is 6. 6 plus 4 is 10. Okay. Now you see, you are trying to increment the value of I plus 5. So here what we see, 5 less than or equal to 4. No, the statement is false. So immediately the controller will stop here and then it comes out of the do while loop and it will print the value of 10. So this is how your do while will work. Is this clear? So going back to the other part. In do while, we also have, or in loops, we also have go to, continue, and break. Break we already have seen in switch cases how it works. When the break is there, it will not go into other cases. When the break is not there, you see that it goes into the other statements. So here you see that break statement can break the loop, okay, and it will terminate any of the switch case statement in the switch. Or if you are using any loop for loop or you are using any of the while loop or do while, it will try to break that particular loop. Continue will try to continue with a particular statement. That means it part of the statements will not be skipped, but it will try to continue with the immediately. Now go to is the one wherein you try to use with a label and that particular label will be in somewhere in the code. So once you come across go to A, go to B. So you'll be using again the alphabets. So when you're using this particular alphabets as the labels, you see that those set of statements where we are using showing that particular um, whatever you're trying to show the statements there in the label, those statements will be executed. So this is all about your loops and then I'm just showing you one particular code which I wanted to execute. This is a relational operator. I wanted to explain it to you. how the relational operators will work. Now let's see what is the result. Let me clear this and run it. Okay. Now what happens? We are declaring PQRS as four variables of integer type, and then we are trying to use the relational operators or the comparative operators. 9 less than 6. So the 9 less than 6 will give 0 because 9 is not less than 6. So 0 less than 8, then what happens? It gives 1 here. Now 5 less than 1, 7. Yes, it gives 1. Again, you have 1 less than 0. No, it is 0. Now what happens? 4 less than 9. Yes, 1 it is. 1 greater than 5? No, it is 0. 2 less than 1? No, it is 0. 0 greater than 5? No, it is 0 only. So 1 0 0 0 will be printed. What if I change? Okay, let's see now again. I change some values in between. Now 2 less than 6, true. 1. 1 less than 8, 1 it is. Okay, 5 less than 7, yes. 1 less than 9, yes it is. 4 less than 3, 0. 0 greater than 5, 0. Then 2 less than 1, no, 0. 0 greater than 5, no. So you'll be getting 1 1 0 0. Just see that if I run it, 1 1 0 0. 1 1 0 0. Got it? Now let's change some symbols. Instead of greater than, I'll make less than, less than. Okay. I'm not changing the values, but I'm changing the greater than symbols or less than symbol. 2 greater than 6, 0. 0 less than 8, true. It is 1. Okay. Now 5 less than 7, yes, 1. 1 less than 9, yes. Then 4 less than 3, 0. 0 less than 5, yes, 1 it is. Then 2 less than 1, 0. 0 less than 5, yes it is. So you'll get all ones in this particular case. So this is how you try to execute. Relational operator will try to give the result as ones or zeros. All four ones should be there. Got it? So this is how you will be working with the relational operator. And in one of the class, I was doing the bitwise operator. So kindly go to the bitwise example and you can do good. So with this, I'll try to stop. All the best.